Hi there, it's Mike Farrell here with Aspen iBiz. When the weather's nice, I like to dress casual and work outside. So I've just stepped out of my home office up here in the mountains of Colorado to bring you this update. In my update for you today, I have an alternative wealth creating opportunity, and it's along the New Silk Road where East meets West. You probably have heard of NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Association. How about OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries? You possibly have heard of the EU, which is the European Union. And you probably have even heard of the BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. However, have you heard of MENA? Stay with me for a couple of minutes and I'll explain to you what MENA is and why you should be interested. When conventional wisdom isn't working anymore, we need alternative wealth creating strategies. And as part of this approach, you should give consideration to a region that has a bigger economy and is growing faster than Brazil, Russia, and India, 3 of the 4 BRIC countries. It also has a population that is bigger than the United States, about equal to the population of the European Union. And it has an exploding population rate. Stuart Varney of Fox News at a recent conference highlighted that an increasing population rate is a necessary ingredient to the engine of economic growth. This region is in the center of a part of the world along the Old Silk Road, where we think of a network of traders with caravans loaded with silk, spices, flowers, jewelry, and gold, with trading routes across the Indian Ocean, from Perth, Australia to Mombasa, Kenya, along the east coast of Africa, with passages up and down the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea, all areas that I have visited. This region is called MENA, or the Middle East and North Africa. Among its largest economies are Saudi Arabia, where I worked for 2 years, and the United Arab Emirates, which includes the go-go city of Dubai. As a result, this region holds 60% of the world's oil reserves and nearly half of the world's natural gas. However, much has changed in this region over the years, and it has evolved and expanded such that there is a new Silk Road, and it weaves its way through Damascus, Riyadh, Dubai, Mumbai, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and Hong Kong, maybe even to Tokyo. Along this new Silk Road, there are trading opportunities, which include things such as the scarcity of food and water, infrastructure for roads, bridges, dams, water, power, and sanitation plants, energy in terms of drilling, pumping, and distribution, and engineering services. And all of this growth does not depend on trade with the United States, which is expected to be quite anemic in the future years. Let me provide some examples. Along this mercantile crossroads, where the East meets the West, is Syria. And there is a political thaw underway in that the United States is sending an ambassador to this country after a 4-year absence, and it is easing the ban on exports to this country. The largest investor in Syria is Haier, which is a Chinese company that makes washing machines and microwave ovens. Another Chinese company recently completed a $180 million hydroelectric plant. Also on the drawing board are big real estate projects, including resorts on the Syrian Mediterranean coast. There are over 48,000 hotel beds coming online over the next 3 years, doubling the amount of beds available, and tourism is up significantly in Syria and accounting for approximately 13% of its economy. The region is benefiting from the expanded trade with China and the rest of the Asian countries that are in pursuit of the region's oil. Earlier this year, China passed the United States to become the Arab world's largest trading partner, with exports over $50 billion, highlighting how a rising Arab world is turning away from the West and rediscovering China. The most interesting thing about this growth is that it's happening in a part of the world where water is scarce and it's difficult to grow food. For example, in Kuwait, annual water consumption is 22 times the annual rainfall. Countries in the region import 60% of their food and are phasing out crop production to conserve water. They are even investing in farmland overseas with major purchases in Indonesia, the Sudan, and Pakistan. Also, a recent edition of The Economist had a cover story and a series of articles on the Arab world waking from its sleep. It describes that after 2 decades of political stagnation, there is a fever for change. From the old pattern of corrupt, opaque, and authoritarian Arab governments to ones that have a democratic and capitalistic movements, including more education, tolerance, and independent institutions such as a judicial system and a free press. So in summary, I have introduced you to an emerging economic region. It contains the new Silk Road, where the East meets West, and I've also introduced you to associated wealth creating opportunities for you to consider related to water, food, infrastructure, energy, and engineering services. As the quiet revolution of political change is complete, the upside of this region will grow even faster under the more liberalized economic governments. As Steve Forbes likes to say, more financial education with an increased financial literacy and empowerment will open our eyes to alternative wealth creating strategies, which are the keys to resolving this financial crisis. When you get a chance, you can go to my blog to read about the new Silk Road. There's also a pointer in my blog post to an article that you can read as it describes in more detail the mercantile crossroads where the East meets the West. And I trust you will find it all very insightful. Until next time, I invite you to meet me on Facebook, follow me on my blog, watch me on my YouTube channel, and join me as I increase my financial literacy and pursue alternative wealth creating strategies that generate multiple income streams. The URLs for all the sites are listed on the screen. And in closing, as always, here's to your success.